This is for creative and physical computing. This is semester 2's XOSE work. So for this project, we were tasked with creating a physical interface to control an audio-visual element on screen. To do this, we'll be using XOSE kits and wiring up interactions with inputs such as sliders and sensors and outputs such as LEDs and on-screen interfaces. We used MaxMSP to create what is called a patch, which can then connect to the OSE and be used to manipulate inputs and outputs. My patch is a simple detection tool that can tell how far a person's hand is away from the sensor and react accordingly. The output from this is some LEDs turning off, as well as a jitter render playing on screen and a sound being produced. This is quite a basic but effective interaction, as it is easy to do and the results are clear to see and instantaneous. So as we can see, we have all 6 lights on there right now, but when I hover my hand over, all 6 lights will turn off. We also have, and then obviously turn back on when my hand is gone. We also have this jitter here, this jitter render, which will run and play when my hand is at the right height, and will stop when my hand isn't there or isn't at the right height. So if I go further down, if I go too far up, but it will play when my hand is at the right height. As well as that, we have a sonic element of the wood snare, which will play when my hand is also at the right height above the sensor. So to do this, I had a MaxMSP patch which contained some interfaces to measure the distance from the sensor and turn it into numerical values, which was these here, just here. And once this had happened, there would be a value which had a range that was not easily applicable for parameters and MSP components. So that would be this, it's just got too many decimal points and it's constantly changing. So to deal with this, I decided to convert it from the less standardized values up here to a 1 to 10 scale, which is much easier to then turn to use for variables and parameters. So here we can see that working. So the scale goes from 0.4 to 0.7 and changes it from 0 to 10. This was successful and I was able to have the output values turn off and on the lights when my distance was less than 4 up there, which would then activate this main thing, this main toggle, which then would activate the toggles for all the lights and also the wood snare. I think this was an effective patch as it had an interaction and some clear logic, as well as being easy to track and understand the flow of what is happening. I did, however, struggle initially to get working sound due to the output sound component being different how I expected. So this component here was slightly different how I expected it would be. I thought that it would be very simple to use, but it actually took some getting used to before I was able to get it to work. But I was able to add it towards the end. I managed to get the toggle, which helped to add the playing of it, as well as the sound turning on also when my hand is just less than 4 away from the sensor. The intention of this piece is for users to be able to see simple interactions and with components of the XOSE kit and see what is possible, but also give them an idea of what could be done. This could be used as an educational tool for people learning about interaction, simple electrics, music and audio, and also coding, as almost an example. Overall, I think the patch was successful in showing visual interaction with physical elements as well as on-screen ones. I also think the addition of audio made it a lot more effective and really showed the parameters of the things you could do with MaxMSP. I do think this could have been improved though, with a bit more of an interesting interaction or another sensor outside of it, which would give the user more physical interactivity and allow for a more variable experience and increase the choice of interactions that are possible. Just for one more time, I will run through the working pieces as well as the render and the lights turning on and off. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, and that is my piece for CPC.